I knew I was never going to be a painter hanging on a museum wall. I really love tattooing because every day it's something different. The design is different, the skin is different, the person's different. Tattooing is kind of like my way of, I get to at least leave a mark on somebody, literally a mark on somebody's body.
We've been called a lot of things, and we're inspired by everything around us, including each other. The individuals that have inspired me the most create beauty and positive change. To me, that's the highest form of art, and it deserves the loudest praise. This is Shout Out, the art of self-expression. On this episode of Shout Out, the 3D modeler, tattoo artist, and skydiver, Brian Rundlett.
I would say I'm known as like a rose guy. People know me for doing roses. I love roses. I got a couple on me. Once I soaked in that technique, I just blew up on it. There's so much creativity. Art is unlimited. You can really do anything you want. You know, everyone has a tone to their skin. A yellow tone, a reddish tone, blue, green. So you pick colors depending on the skin, different depths of the needle, different types of needles, different groupings for shading and blending and packing. Different voltage of your machine. So there's so many factors. I've been skydiving for about 3 years now. But I was like, you know what? If I don't do all the things that I love and I want to do now, instead of saving for the future, I'm never going to do it. The first couple jumps, she's like, call me when you land, call me when you go up. And then now it's just like, I'm going. She's like, all right, bye. Like, I don't even wake her up. I just go. It's like Sunday church, you know? So what I love about tattooing is every day is different, which is awesome. I love that.
Okay, welcome to the show, Brian Rundlett.
What's up?
How are you doing, man?
Hey, doing good, man. It's been a while. But...
Yeah, it has been. It's been a long time. Thanks for coming on and doing this. I appreciate it.
Awesome, man. I'm glad you asked me to do something. I've been wanting to do more things like this, you know, and just kind of talk and see what's up and discuss art, man. Talk art with artists.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously we went to school together and, you know, we did the whole 3D thing. Are you still modeling?
Yeah, I'm actually going on year 13 on working at a small company called Codebell. I've been there. I got a job about a year after Full Sail, grinding away, cutting grass, doing substitute teaching, doing all the hard stuff, funny stories along the way, and then just kept modeling stuff till 6 in the morning. You know our hours, just like doing stuff, getting 2 hours of sleep, go cut grass, come back, model. And almost a year to the date, I got a job at a small company, it's a small game development company down here called Codebell. And he was the creator of Farmtown, small little farming game on Facebook. That everybody's like, tend to my crops over here and I'll give you this. And so I did that, started doing the 3D game for that. And we've had a bunch of different ventures throughout the last 13 years of making apps and games. Now we're strictly for Apple games and stuff like that, Androids and stuff like that. But still going strong, but, you know, got to pick up the side hustle. So I picked up other art forms, tons of other jobs that we could talk about, man. So
yeah, let's get into it. Because obviously right now you're in a tattoo studio. Is this your like main side gig?
So it started off as like, you know, I've been tattooing about 8 or 9 years now. So after like 5 years of doing modeling and doing side gigs for, you know, different companies and stuff like that, I did some work with Chris Nolan, who went to school with us, doing some freelance gigs with cars and modeling cars and, you know, crate and barrel furniture. I was just like, I want something else. I've always loved tattooing, but the irony is that I hate needles and I'm a germaphobe too. So it's like, I don't like blood and I don't like people touching me and I hate needles till this day. You know, people laugh at me. I go get blood and the doctor's like, I got to hit you with a needle. I was like, yo, I don't want it. But so I picked this as a kind of a side gig. I was getting a tattoo and I was like, oh, you know, I've always wanted to be a tattoo artist. That was cool, but my mom hates it. So she was going to kill me if she found out, even at the age of 26 or whatever it was. So I was like, you know, I'm just going to get a kit, start tattooing at home. Started tattooing some friends, and my cool friends that were just like, yo, I'm your test dummy, just tattoo me. And I was like, all right, cool, you know, and it turned out I was pretty good at it. So got into one shop with my buddy, and it just kind of was like, you know, finding a shop that I liked because I was doing it because I loved it, not because I needed it as a job. So I was like, I want to do art that I like, and I want to do projects that I like. And now I've developed a niche that I can really pick and choose what kind of projects I want to take on. But I just kind of steamrolled, and I got better and better at it. Started getting tattooed more, and the more tattoos I get, the more I learned. And then it was before I had my kids. It was traveling. I'd go to Puerto Rico and all over the world, the United States, and I'd take my wife with me, and we'd take a vacation and get a tattoo, learn a little bit, come back and apply it to my work, and just ever evolving, go to tattoo shows and just watch. And it became a passion of mine. I mean, so this is my tattoo shop that I am currently going to be building another 1 or 2 rooms for other artists to be here as well. So finally taking that leap of owning my own tattoo shop and mixing in with some cool car stuff. I've always been a car head, so want to do kind of mix the two things. So we'll see.
That's awesome, man. And like looking through your photos and kind of just doing a little bit of research, I noticed you are into some of the coolest things and coolest hobbies. Kind of explain everything that you're into, because I saw it looked like you were doing extreme altitude skydiving.
Yeah, I've been skydiving for about 3 years now. It was on my bucket list. Kind of hit some rough patches that, with health wise, that developed honestly through Full Sail with like stress and everything. You know how it was.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? If I don't do all the things that I love and I want to do now, instead of saving for the future, I'm never going to do it. So, taking a leap of faith, and literally a leap out of a plane, I was like, yo, I'm going to do it. My wife was like, go do it. The first couple of jumps, she was like, call me when you land, call me when you go up. And then now it's just like, I'm going. She's like, all right, bye. Like, I don't even wake her up. I just go. It's like Sunday church, So I've been doing it about 3 years. I haven't done it in a couple months, just been busy with other stuff, projects and stuff, but I have about a little less than 300 jumps.
Wow.
I've done stuff, jumping at night. I did my gender reveal for my baby, jumping out of a plane, which was super fun. We jumped out in diapers. We put on me and 8 other dudes put on adult diapers. We put on pacifiers, jumped out the plane. And then I had my whole family down on the floor, and we all landed, and I custom made these arm pouches that went right here that we would Velcro open. We had to test all these things. So I had my buddy put in powder so I wouldn't know what it was. And he put in the pink powder. So we're up there, and there's 12 of us, and I just ripped it open. I'm like, yeah, but it was cool, man. It actually got picked up by a TV show, and they're like, hey, we were looking at gender reveals and skydiving, and we saw your video. Can we post it? I was like, yeah, for sure, man. That'd be cool. So, I've always wanted to do skydiving, and it just became a very addictive hobby very quickly. Yeah. Where I was buying all my own gear, jumping out at night. I still have to jump out of a helicopter. I have my license to do it. I still just have to find time to do the beach jumps and the hot air balloon jumps. So tons of things on my list to do, man. But just, time. Just got on time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. What's the highest altitude that you've jumped from?
I've jumped about a little over 15,000. I mean, usually we jumped out about like 13.5 is a regulation, but still dying to do, they do 20,000 where you actually take oxygen up there. Yeah. So that's the high altitude, and but there's so many skills and things that you can do with the sport. It's never ending. You do different jumps with people, and fun jumps, skilled jumps, and it's a lot harder than just jumping out and feeling the air. There's actually some skill involved, but
100%.
All cool people too, man. Just meeting tons of new friends that are just good people. We're crazy, but they're good people.
Have you thought about getting into like squirrel suiting or anything like that?
So that's the reason I got into jumping. Yeah, is I could do the squirrel suit, and then I got into it. And I realized, and then I started doing all these different, like there's tracking and belly jumping and head down and all these different techniques and things that you can do with it that require different learning and jumping hundreds of jumps just to even get it right. So you had to get 200 jumps to start doing a squirrel suit. So I was like, okay, when I get 200, and then I was like absent for a little bit during the whole COVID stuff. And then all my friends have been doing the squirrel suiting now. So I'm like, oh, I got to go in there and get my suit, because they're all just cruising the skies and just having fun, man. So there's a lot of things that go involved with it, getting a little bit different gear and stuff, but that is definitely on my to-do list to eventually go to Europe and jump off a cliff and do that. Because that's just, my wife says no, but
Do you think that you'd ever get into like proximity at all? Like trying to get close to mountains and stuff, or would you just strictly stick with like, I'm going to float out and then?
I mean, I think if I got into this younger, I probably would have.
Yeah.
But now that I got kids, I
Yeah.
realized, like I could still have fun and push the boundaries, and skydiving is still a thrill. Every time I jump,
Yeah.
it doesn't get boring ever. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm an adrenaline junkie, but to an extent of like taking the right parental risks
Sure.
now. So the parent side of me says, no, I don't want to get too close to a mountain, although it does look super fun. But hey, you never know, man. I mean, maybe something will just click to me one day. I'm just like, let's just do it. So, but tons of training was required to do all that stuff. But I would say there's always a possibility. Never say no, right? I'm going to be yes, man.
Okay, so kind of getting back to tattooing, what are some of the challenges of that profession?
Well, tons. So let's see, tattooing. The good things and the bad things is the same thing. So you get somebody that can sit there and take a lot of pain, and then you get somebody that's kicking and squealing like a pig, like
Right.
somebody cursing at me and somebody that's hugging me and crying, So every day, what makes it fun is that every day it's something different. The design is different, the skin is different, the person's different. But from doing this, I really love tattooing because I knew I was never going to be a painter hanging on a museum wall. Like I remember you just having the illustrative skills. Like your stuff was always picked. Like, yeah, there's still stuff on the wall. I was like, dude, this guy's got skills. Like I can draw, but like you had amazing stuff. And, I picked up on 3D stuff, but tattooing is kind of like my way of, I get to at least leave a mark on somebody, literally a mark on somebody's body for the rest of the, and that's what I really try to showcase in my work is that you're not just paying for, I walk into a shop, I get a little heart tattoo for $20 and I get out of there. I did that in the beginning, but now I really want to tailor towards doing meaningful pieces of work for people that, it's lifelong. It really is. I mean, you can get later, but, who wants to go through that?
Right.
But the challenges with that is just, finding people that really want to get something, and not every tattoo is meaningful. Like tonight, I did a meaningful tattoo for this guy that I've been tattooed for a while, and for like the people that he considers his parents, we did like a postcard of West Virginia on his chest, and like all the little things that remind him of the place on a postcard, make it 3D on his chest, and he's like, I can't wait to show her. She's gonna cry. I was like, dude, you gotta film it. So those things really make it rewarding to me, but the challenges, of course, dealing with skin. Some people's skin doesn't take ink. It's not like drawing on paper.
Yeah.
Old skin, new skin, muscular skin, different parts of the body. I could tattoo your leg, smooth sailing. I could tattoo your ribs, not so great. So different pigments. Along the way of the years of tattooing, I've learned. Everyone has a tone to their skin: a yellow tone, a reddish tone, blue, green. So you pick colors. Depending on their skin, and despite the whole pain tolerance side, there's different depths of the needle, different types of needles, different groupings for shading and blending and packing, and different voltage of your machine. So there's so many factors that, in the beginning, I thought it was like one needle, turn the machine on and just go, right? Like simple, right? Tattoo. I was like, and I practice on bananas and fruit and pig skin, and like, before I ever touched anybody's skin, I was like, all right, I'm okay. The first tattoo I ever did was on my sister-in-law behind her ear, which is a horrible, horrible spot to do.
Really?
Like, it's just not a spot you want to do for your first tattoo, just hard surface, tender. It probably took me 3 hours for something that took me maybe 5 minutes now,
Mm-hmm.
It looks good. It still held up from my first tattoo. So I was like, okay, at least I didn't mess it up. But, every part of your body is a challenge. I mean, the oldest person I ever tattooed was a 74-year-old, and it was like drawing with a needle on a wet toilet paper. Like it was just like, you don't want to cut them, and then there's risks of infection and cleanliness. So the germaphobe side of me definitely comes into play on that side, like I'm super clean about everything, which is a huge, it's a medical procedure, really.
Right.
A lot of people that it's just pretty art, but you're doing something very traumatic to your skin, and your skin is your largest organism on your skin that's soaking in everything, so there's so many things that come into play to make a good tattoo. So, but on top of that, connecting with people, I'm a pretty social guy, connecting with people, I've made friends through tattooing, but there's challenges with some people, and everybody has different kind of personality, and that's part of the experience of tattooing. Is I've tailored myself to stop doing walk-in stuff as a shop and do one person only, appointment only, so I can focus 110% on your tattoo and give you something that's going to last forever, that you can look down and be like, yo, I love it.
How often does it occur where like someone will suggest, or they come in, they're like, I really want you and I want this on me, and you're kind of like, this isn't going to work?
I've had to turn people away because of creative differences. A lot of times I've had people come to me and they show me something on Pinterest. Hey, I found this. I love this. I want this exact tattoo, just like this. And I'm like, I'll make one very close to that. No, I want that exact tattoo. And I'm like, well, I don't want to copy that artist's work, because I feel like not only are you stealing someone's artwork, you're stealing that artist, his work, his or her work. You're stealing that client who paid a lot of money. You're stealing something that they thought was special to them. So you're robbing them of their uniqueness. You're robbing me of my freedom to do creativity, to express my artwork. And I'm giving my 100% to you to create something custom at no extra charge. So I've had to deny a lot of people. I'm like, look, if you're not willing to alter, it doesn't have to be my style, but let's change it so it's unique to you, but we'll keep it as similar as we can. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, in the beginning, I've done the copy stuff, in learning. I'm like, yeah, I'll copy that. Yeah. But I've had people that wanted a whole back piece that is the same color, placement of everything, and they were just not willing to budge. They loved it. And I get it, you love it and that's what you want, but I respectfully just decline, because I feel like it's just cheating a lot of people out of it. And you may never meet that same person, but to me, I feel like it's just robbing another artist of their hard work and creativity and their time and their money and all that. And it's just, there's so much creativity. Art is unlimited. We can really do anything we want, and still have that uniqueness to it. So it's not about the money to me. Obviously it has become a full-time job for me that I rely on everything, but it's still something that if it's not going to be something unique, then, I always suggest them to another artist that may do it, so support another artist instead of be like, no, get out of here, so just
I respect that, man.
So
out of all the pieces that you've done, 8 or 9 years now, you say, what's your favorite piece that you did? And
I have a favorite piece right now that I'm really in love with for multiple reasons. One, because it's color. I love doing color. I mean, I love black and gray, but she's been very open about it. Obviously I would love for someone to be like, look, here's my leg and my back, whatever, my arm, do whatever you want. But, everybody has something they want, they'll be like, I want a dragon. But this one girl, Candace, I've been working with her for a while. She's actually going to be entering her leg in a competition up in Tampa for a tattoo convention. And I've been doing this blue glowing skull with tropical flowers all down her thigh. And it was a cover up too. So I had to cover up an old tattoo.
Oh, wow.
Then I covered it up. She loved it so much. She's like, I want to keep going down my leg. I was like, okay, we added more flowers. She's like, I love it so much. I want more. I want to do whatever you want. I was like, a parrot, look cool. She's like, let's do a parrot. Now we're going to be doing a tiki mask. And every idea she has is super cool. But on top of that, she's very fair skinned. So she's very whiter than me. So all the pigment really sinks into her skin really well. She heals really well. And she falls asleep when I tattoo her. So no kicking, no screaming. She literally will sit there and drool and just wake up. And I'm like, hey, wake up, you're done. She's like, all right, cool. So to me, that's the best client, pale skin, a lot of freedom in the design and no fighting me on the tattoo. So to me, that's the perfect client, so, but I have tons of favorites, whether it's just because I love working on them and they have creative ideas, but I would say I'm known as a rose guy. People know me for doing roses.
Mm-hmm.
I love roses. I got a couple on me. Once I kind of soaked in that technique, I just blew up on it. And I'm not the best, but I do them very well. And people come to me for roses, and people recognize my roses on other people, strangers, that's Brian's, right? So it's cool to be recognized for some artwork, but
yeah.
I would say I love doing flowers. I do specials for flowers all the time, man, different things,
For sure. And I've noticed that, like, looking through your portfolio, I'm like, man, this guy's color work is off the charts. It's amazing. And noticing like the flowers, and one of the other things that I noticed that I really liked, you did an owl. And this kind of like segues into a question of like, you know, do you get pigeonholed for doing like one thing and then it's like that's all anybody wants you to do and you get kind of tired of that, or are you kind of enjoying doing like that because it's like, oh man, I'm crushing it on this, I know I just want to take it further?
I mean, luckily with tattooing, that's what I like about it. There are artists that specialize in a certain style and they can run with that style. What I love about tattooing is I can literally do, like I just did a black and gray piece. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing like a Jesus piece, like a religious piece. And then after that, I'm doing a color flower. So every day is different, which is awesome. I love that. There are weeks where, you know, I'll do a lion with a clock or a compass, and then somebody sees it like, oh, I want that same thing. And I'll do like 3 lines in a week. And I'm like, I like doing them, but like maybe I got to space them out just so I don't feel like I'm just doing a lion, you know?
Yeah.
So, but I love doing all of them. They all have like a piece of me in their art, you know, and in each tattoo, I try to throw as much as I can into it. But roses, I think is the one thing I probably don't get tired of. Like, I mean, eventually I would if I did them every single day, but I love doing colored roses. And like, I have so many ideas. I tried to pitch an idea to my wife to let me do it on her. I'm still looking for a client that just has a big old area to let me do a gigantic realistic rose that you can see from 100 yards away.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll give it basically for free. Just let me do it. I want to showcase my work, you know?
Right.
So I'm looking for somebody. I'll find them. I got a couple people that are interested, but they think I mean like small, but I'm talking like, you know, armpit to your kneecap, you know, so huge. But no, I mean, that's what tattooing has really brought to me, is freedom to do a traditional piece. And then I'll do some lettering. Then I get to do some color. I get to do floral work, you know, watercolor. So that's why I like it, is every day is different.
Yeah.
So I don't get it's hard to get bored, to be honest.
Is there anything that you're dying to do that no one has asked for yet that you're like, come on, kind of waiting for?
I've got a bunch of ideas. I got a bunch of designs that I have like in my queue waiting for people to just pick up. I was actually fortunate to tattoo a couple of them. One was like a rose that I put in this 3D lightning that has like filigree on the side, but it's ginormous. And I posted it. The girl said, I'll take it. I gave them all at a super, super cheap price. I was like, this is my original work.
Yeah.
You don't get to pick the colors. You can kind of pick the area. And I got to do some of them at smaller things, but there's a bunch of things that I'm still dying to do. The rose being one of them, a gigantic rose. But I really want to start incorporating, I do it with every tattoo based on your body, but flowing. And this is where my 3D modeling skill really came in, because we had to practice anatomy, you know, so different flows of your muscles, you know, and everybody has different muscle tone. So you don't want to do a line going the other way of a tricep muscle, you know, so flowing with the body to accentuate your own anatomy is a big key. And I want to do large scale stuff of that, where, you know, using indents in your hip as a 3D feature, you know, and like using things that you may not like in your body to the depth of a tattoo, you know, to really punch it and make it just like, wow, like it just looks better, you know, because you can't really change your body. I mean, you can get plastic surgery, but work with what you got and make it look better, you know? So I've got a bunch of things I want to do. I just need to find the right people.
A couple years ago, I got my last tattoo. And then after like looking through your stuff, I'm like, now I know a guy who crushes it. I might have to get another one sometime. I have to make a trip out.
There's no such thing as a last tattoo.
I know. It's like, as soon as you start, you're like, it just, I got a better idea. Or, you know, something will come up and inspire you. And you're like, damn, all right, I'm gonna have to go back in.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly told myself I only wanted my ankle and my forearm. And now, as you can tell, I am fully tattooed up. I mean, I got sleeves, I've got legs, I've got my whole entire foot done, which was brutal.
Yeah.
That was probably my worst tattoo ever, like pain-wise, but you know.
How long did it take?
I went to actually go see Chris Nolan in California to meet a guy from Spain. So I went there for a week, hung out with Nolan, me and my girl and his girl, and did all the stuff I wanted to do. And then the last the third to last day I was there. 8 hours on my foot, all the way up to half of my leg. And my foot swelled up so much, I couldn't even put it in a sandal. I had to duct tape my toes and my heel to sandal. And I actually had to get crutches to walk around.
Oh.
So all your blood pressure is going down, you're standing up. I literally I couldn't walk from here to the bathroom without excruciating pain. And then the flight home felt like I was dying. My heart felt like I was exploding. I waited for the guy next to me to fall asleep, and I put my foot up on his food tray to elevate my leg. The flight attendant comes by and is like, what's wrong with your foot? He's like, I got a tattoo. She goes, can I see it? I was like, sure. She's like, wow, it's beautiful, but oh my gosh. It looks like if you filled up a hospital glove with water and it's just jiggly. It was brutal. Now I've learned my lesson. Next time I get my foot tattooed, the other one, I'm going to take a couple days before I fly, because it was not pleasant, but you live and you learn. There was a guy from Spain, I had to be like, I got to get it done in one shot and just suck it up. And I didn't have a lot of tattoos back then. So he was like, are you sure you want your foot, man? That's pretty brutal. Like toes to up to my calf, So
yeah.
Hey, you only live once, right?
Right.
Oh, you only die once. You live every day. You live it to the fullest, right?
Awesome. So what advice would you give to anybody that's like trying to become a tattooer or thinking about becoming a tattoo artist?
I mean, the best tattoo artists that I've seen are people that are traditional artists, painters, really. People that paint. Like I was always an artist and I had my different skills in art. I learned the tool. So once you learn the tool, there's a bunch of things you have to learn, but of course, being clean and everything. But if you want to be a tattoo artist, practice being an artist first, because it's just the same thing as being a painter or a drawer, you pencil, charcoal, whatever, but you're learning a different tool. But when I first started, I was doing anything, like whatever you want, I'll do it, like I'll try to throw my twist on it, but I'll just do it just to learn, to practice your lines and everything. So practice not on your friends right away. You can pick up a grapefruit and tattoo a grapefruit or a banana and you still get the same result. So don't go ruining your best friends. I've seen people like, my friend did this at my party. Practice. Can you cover it up? There's a girl that she's just started tattooing, Hannah. I actually skydived with her. That's how I met. So she's a great artist. And she's always drawing and sketching. And then I saw that she's starting to tattoo at the shop. I was like, hey, your stuff looks pretty good. And she wants to work here. That's why I'm building another room for her. But I see her as an artist that is learning a tool and she has potential.
Yeah.
So there's other people that I see, they're like, yeah, I want to be a tattoo artist. So I was like, well, can you draw? Can you draw on a piece of paper? Because I think there's a big difference that I've seen in my years. People that are artists that learn a tool and master it, and people that are just a good tattooer. Like I can trace it. I can do a clean line, everything like that. I can a tracer, So there's a tattooer and there's an artist. And both are very necessary in the industry. I mean, some people just want a simple little outlines, and I've done a million of them too. But for anybody that wants to become a tattoo artist, practice, find some willing friends, because pigskin and bacon. Yeah, I have tons of friends that I was giving free tattoos to for years. Like, hey, what do you want? Johnny Bravo? Okay, we're putting Johnny Bravo on your arm. Like, I need to practice this? Cool. And I love doing cover-ups, because take something that somebody hates and give them something totally different. And some are beyond repair, and some I've covered up a whole sleeve of color and did a whole different design on them. Like, I'll send you those pictures so we can post them later or something.
Yeah, for sure.
But like, taking people that were very unhappy with stuff and giving them something that they're proud to take off their shirt now. They were embarrassed for the kid to see, and you're changing a lifestyle for them. I mean, some people won't even go to the beach because they're embarrassed about their tattoo. And now they're like, yo, I'll just take off my shirt in the restaurant,
Yeah.
But for new artists, if you have any kind of artistic skill, it's about taking the time to learn the tools the right way. It's not like, I thought painting was slow. And my mom always wanted me to be a painter. And I was like, I can't wait for the paint to dry. Like, I messed up, so I could let it dry, and then you can go over it. And I was impatient. And then she goes, isn't tattooing even slower? It's like literally drawing with a feather ink pen. You're dipping a little bit of ink and you're putting a little in, dip a little in. And it takes much longer. And I'm like, I don't know. maybe that it's taught me to slow down a little bit, you know,
Yeah.
and that's part of the meditation thing. So any new artist, just take your time, learn it the right way, and it'll come to you, you know. And some people shouldn't be tattooing at all; they just need to stop, you know. But you know, other forms of art, you know, it's not for everybody. But the people that can take the time to do it and learn, like this girl Hannah that I want to really get in here, she's transferred her 2D skills on paper to skin very well, and I think she has tons of potential. So
Cool.
Want to take her under my little.
Anyone that you want to do a shout out to?
You know, the one person that probably would not want to shout out from a tattoo artist, but truly is the one person that always pushed me to do art, is my mom.
Yeah.
Like my mom's, she used to take me to all her painting classes. She'd always, like, I know it sounds cheesy, like, oh, I want to thank my mom, but when I tell you she hates tattoos, she didn't talk to me for like 2 weeks when she saw my first tattoo and I was living in her home, you know? She tried to scratch it off my arm. But she was the one person that always come to me with my art class. Oh, like, don't get frustrated with this. Like, she always helped me with our art projects. And she has artistic talent, but she always saw more in me. And she always kept pushing me to do it. So when I told her I was a tattoo artist and starting to do that, she's like, you're going to tattoo your face and your neck and your hands, and you're going to be disgusting and everything. And she gets mad when I tattoo my siblings. I'm like, they're like 45 years old. They can make their own decision, you know, like, better your son to do it, right? But she's grown to love my work. She promotes my work to her boss. So she's like my #1 fan. I send her my stuff, you know, and she'll tell me straight up, like, I don't like this, or that one looks evil, you know. So she'll be my toughest critic, but she'll also tell me, you know, what I need to hear, when I need to hear it. So, but, you know, my wife has been super supporting about it because she was there when I first started doing it. You know, she was always pushing me to do it, saying, go for it. I was like, should I open a shop? Yes, you should do it. So she's always been positive about it and tell me that I'm good and promoting my work to her friends. I mean, the #1 way to promote your work in the tattoo industry is do good work, because it's on somebody's body. They're a walking billboard. So if you do bad work, they're going to walk around and show bad work. So by having positive people around you, I mean, I've had my other tattoo artists along the way that have helped me out, you know, in the beginning. Damon is my buddy. He was one that first started tattooing me, and he kind of started showing me the wing and everything, became a friend of mine. And just along the way, becoming Josh Payne was a big guy. He was my unique master. I found him. I fell in love with his work on Instagram, and I went to go see him, and I wrote this big list of everything I wanted, every detail. When I got there, he's like, dude, are you going to be a pain in the ass? Because your email was like a pain in the ass. I was like, dude, I'm just being thorough the way I would want somebody else to give me an email. He drew like a little crayon sketch on a piece of paper real quick. I was like, I trust you, man. Let's do it. And I've been getting tattooed by him for years. He became a very close friend. I went to Vegas to go watch his live viewing. He was one of the officiators at my wedding by Little Elvis in Vegas. Like, he's become a friend, you know? So, but I learned so much from him and all the artists that tattooed me, but he was like one of the closest ones that really kind of pushed me a lot too. And I learned a lot from, you know? So I think artists just need to support other artists, man. Like,
yeah, 100%, man.
That's why I bought that book. When I saw your stuff in the book, man, I was like, yo.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
What I've learned along my career with everything is, if you have a good idea, somebody else in the world has that idea too.
Yeah.
So you got to jump on it. I mean, literally, I don't know if you've seen Sausage Party.
Yes. That reminds me of Eggscape. You did. I remember that.
Right?
Yeah.
I told my wife that. That's crazy that you remember that.
Yeah.
I was like, I was making it
Eggscape.
when I first learned Maya in Miami-Dade Community College. An egg, I just didn't have the whole very creative, perverted version of it. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
But I wanted the refrigerator, when you close it and the light goes off,
right,
everything is trying to get out because they're going to get eaten. And they realized, but they threw in this whole religious and sexual thing to it, which was genius. I thought, when I saw that movie, I was like, fuck. I had a very similar idea.
Just know that I was like, when I saw the trailer to that, I was like, this reminds me of a guy like that I went to school with, Brian. I was seriously saying that to my friend Joey, who was like right next to me. I'm like, I've already seen this. Like, this idea, he should have freaking.
I was working on that thing all the time at late at night. I had ketchup bottles with faces on them, and I had like mayonnaise and every egg and every condiment I had alive. And I was like, man, I was trying to learn every aspect of it just to make it short. I was like, damn, that would have been so cool. But I was happy to see a funny movie be successful at it.
Exactly. Well, that's kind of the cool sign, right? That it's like, if you see something else that's so similar and successful, you're like, I have good ideas. Just keep working at it, dude. And
Exactly.
eventually.
I've done a bunch of things along the way where I kind of hesitate. Like I made a drinking card game. I think I actually got one here. I'll have to send it to you, but it's a very raunchy game for adults, but it kind of like Cards Against Humanity that I made. And I was like, and I was about to release it and everything, but COVID hit and I was like, oh, well, it's a social game. Nobody's going to be social active right now. So, and then when I finally get this thing and I was like, I have an idea. I'm not going to give you all that things. I'm going to send you some pictures of some of the cars I've been building, but I'm super excited. I got one coming back that's like a Jurassic Park car, but my own version.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? I have a good idea. Everything that I have, I'm showing renders of what it's going to look like. It's turning out better and people love it. I'm like, screw it. So I started a business called Ink and Oil.
Yes.
So it's half tattoo shop, half car shop. And I'm trying to really push that and get the first car out. And I'm trying to maybe combine it with an app with my boss, my day job. So if I can combine all three things, man, that'd be a perfect universe. But I was like, some ideas working. I just got to be the first one to the nut, man.
Awesome, man. Take care. Have a good night.
You too, man. Take care of that family.
Okay, you too. Shoutout is an Ellering Stories production. For more episodes, visit elleringstories.com.